Hello class and welcome to our third exciting lecture series on microeconomics, and I'm your instructor Jamal Haider. I welcome you all for our lecture 3. So let's start. So today we are going to have our assignment 1 at the end of this lecture. So remember that one, the instructions. Of course, this is not a physical class, so I won't be, asking you to print and give me, the print version. So how you are going to create the assignment 1, I think we will talk about at the end of this lecture. So just move on. Just going to give you one thing, that is, please read the note that you must write it down with your best handwriting. Okay, this is your assignment, and assignment is of 30% of your overall evaluation, right? So don't consider it as a less or inferior stuff or something. Don't waste your, free marks on assignments. Okay, and you need to be very concise. I don't require you to write this much amount of like answers and this, just be very concise and give your best handwriting. So I only accept handwriting, or either if you have a e-pen, you can use e-pen to write down the answers. I would allow you only 2. Either e-pen, like I have this e-pen, you can use that one to answer the question, or just you can solve on a paper, take a picture, and then copy that picture into a Word file, not PDF, Word. Why Word? Because I have a Microsoft Surface and it's very handy on Microsoft Word. And I will be giving you, prompt response on your assignments. Okay, if you give me PDF, then in PDF it doesn't work very well. It's very slow and very, painful. So then I would be, very slow giving you a response, right? So I hope you don't mind. And plus there is a requirement for how you send me the name of your file, how you rename the file. We'll talk about at the end of this. I think the last slide, I've mentioned all this stuff, how you are going to rename your Word file. I also pasted over a sample. So today we will be finishing our chapter 4. Up till now, what we have studied the market force of demand. So let's talk about a quick review, what we have learned. We talked about that, what is movement, what is shift, and we talked about the movement is if there's a change in quantity demanded and the reason is only price, right? We call that, this is movement.
There's no change in demand.
There is a change in demand, but the reason is only price. Okay? There is a change in demand, but the reason is only price. Then we say that we don't have to make a new demand curve. Only the existing demand curve is fine. It's just we move from A to B. It's like that, right? So if there is an increase or decrease in quantity demanded, for example, here from 10 to 6 units, so it means there is a change in quantity demanded, but the reason is only price, because price has increased from 0.5 to 1.5. So we move from A to B, right? Means we don't have to make a new curve. Existing curve is fine. And then we talked about then if there is a change in quantity demanded, or there is a change in demand, and the reason is not price, some other factors, one of these factors, consumer income, price of related goods, taste, expectations, number of buyers, and we talk about that, okay, we have to make a new demand curve. It means existing demand curves no longer going to give us the answers. We have to make a new demand curve, right? And then we talked about what is consumer income, and then we talk about that if the increase in income, what do we mean by increase in demand? Shift to the right mean increase in demand. Increase in demand means that shift to the right. Decrease means shift to the left. Okay? And then we talked about the consumer income, in which consumer income we talked about there is increase or decrease in quantity demanded, and the reason is consumer income. In consumer income, we talked about two types of goods, normal good and
Inferior good.
inferior good. Well done. And in inferior and normal good, we talked about that. If our income increases, then demand increases. Price is the same. Price of the product is the same, but demand increases. It means it's a normal good. So normal good looks like shift to the right.
Right.
Well done. And inferior goods, if our income rises, we decrease consuming that quantity, that product. It means the demand for that product decreases with the increase in income. Price is the same. So we call that this is inferior goods. So if this is existing demand curve, so in inferior goods, when income rises, demand shift to the left. We call this is inferior good. So remember, Gustavo, the inferior or normal good doesn't have to do with the other definition. Inferior is just for economics terminology. Remember that one. Inferior is
Okay.
it's not like that cheap or immoral or some bad stuff, right? No, this is how we define in economics. Okay, and then we talk about price of related good, and we talk that the two goods are related when there are two products A and B. These two are
These
related.
two are related, like a computer and printer, something like that.
Now, computer and printer, not computer and printer, they are not substitutes, but they are related, yes. But we call that A and B are related goods, and two categories, substitute and complement. A and B are substitute if the price increases, if the price of product A increases, it causes increase the quantity demanded of product B, right? And what are the mechanics behind that one? And we talked about that because the law of demand applies on A as well and B as well, right? When price of A rises, it means quantity of A also decrease. This is law of demand. But since A and B are substitute, so customers of A will switch to product B. So that's why demand for product B rises, even though the price of the product B is the same. So we have to make a new demand curve for product B, right? It means if the price of A rises, is causing quantity of B to decrease otherwise, right? Vice versa. So these two are different products. So many students confuse, okay, maybe this is the same product price and this is the same quantity. No, this is product A price, this is product B price, and these two are related as substitutes. And what is complement? Complement is that is an integral part of the product. For example, gasoline and car, computer and software, right? Milk, tea, and milk. Cheese in pizza, right? Pizza cannot be completed with the cheese, right? So if the price of product A rises, it causing quantity of B to decrease. If the price of cheese rises, right, and the quantity demanded for pizza also decreases. Why? Because for the producer who is making pizza, it is costly for the pizza producer to use cheese. So when they use cheese, they increase the price of pizza as well. So when price increases, quantity go down. So people stop consuming or consuming less pizzas, right? So this is the discussion we talked about, that if you want to have a more deep down explanation, please go to our lecture 2. I have already sent you the links. You can go over there and watch the video in detail. Even if you still have the problem, please do message me in our group, or you can message me on my WeChat personal ID. I would be happy to answer. Okay, now, if you understand, then let's talk about concept checker from our previous discussions. Here we go. So when a quantity demanded has increased at every price, it might be because, no. Guess the answer. PD, parallel, answer that. Hiranan?
Please wait, sir. I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It
It
is
is
B.
not A and B. Not A and B.
D.
If you recall from our previous lecture, this is the same concept checker that we talked about in our previous lecture, right? Answer would be
C.
B.
this is demand, and demand doesn't have to do with the costs by sellers. So C can never be the answer. Answer is D, right? Go back to our lecture 2, you will be, you see the explanation over there. So which of the following would not be a determinant of the demand for a particular goods? We talked about that. So there are 5. Consumer income, price of related goods, age,
Taste.
expectations, number of buyers. So it means which we don't have.
D.
Well done. And how about this? An increase in number of college scholarships is issued by a private foundation would.
Increase the demand of education.
Well done. This is from the previous lecture, right? So we are good to go. How about this one? Ford Motor Company announces that it will offer 3,000 rebate on new Mustang starting next month. As a result of this information, today's demand curve for Mustang, see, we are adding more complexity, more, you can say the critical, information here, analytical information. So this belongs to which part?
Expectation.
Mr. Yama.
Well done. Why? Because company will, right, in future. And what happened? What will be, the decision right now based on future? So in future, the cars will be cheaper or expensive?
Cheaper.
So what will be your decision right now?
Left. B.
Paranan, you understand what's going on?
I understand. It happened in the future. It is an expectation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from the PD she said that it will be cheaper, isn't it? So it should be on the left.
In future. So right now, what you will do? You will buy more, or you will buy in future more?
In future more.
So what happened right now? In
It is
today's
expensive, right?
left. Shift to the left, right? Because demand right now, you don't want to buy. When you don't want to buy, it means